Okay. The federal government say they can no longer fund and manage higher institutions. That higher institutions now have to fund and manage themselves. I laughed. I laughed ironically, and at the same time, I laughed hysterically. Because I don't know why such policy should be given consideration in the first place. Listen, if that policy should stand, do you know the meaning? Do you know the connotation of that policy? It will be the fulfillment of Lucky Dube's prophecy when he sings and say, they will build no schools anymore, or they will build this prison, child. They will build no schools anymore, or they will build this prison. Listen. If there is any sector in the world that should be given maximum attention to by any government, it is the agricultural sector, because people have to feed. The educational sector, because minds has to be shaped. The communication sector, because people have to communicate coherently and effectively in order to exist peacefully in a geographical location. These are in the manner of saying the building blocks of every long-lasting civilization. If you don't take care of it, if you like, involve yourself in infrastructural development, build skyscrapers here and there, it will crumble. Why? Because civilization, development has to be inherent, because development must not be alien to the people. So before you involve yourself in infrastructural development, you must first involve yourself in human development, so that the people can embrace civilization, the people can embrace development. And that is what the educational sector does in a society. Listen. 2 years ago, I wrote an article titled The Fading Path of University, a Future. That future was published by one of the prominent and renowned newspaper organizations in the country. In that newspaper, in that future, I was lamenting on how the standard of education has been bastardized in the country, that things are falling apart and only the crumbs are left. That was when the government were still funding. Think of what will happen when they stop funding. Things will fall apart and the center can no longer be held. Even the crumbs will no longer be left. So we are pleading on the government, please, you have to fund these universities. If not, education will be highly expensive and astronomical, and people, the poor, will no longer afford it. But you don't care about that, because you prefer to have more people ignorant. Because the more enlightened people are, the more they are a threat to poor policies. So you prefer to keep them in the dark. No, that's not how things should be. Listen, the reason why Lucky Dube said they will build no schools anymore, or they will build this prison is this: if you fail to take care of the educational sector, you are going to have more inmates in the prison. If you fail to take care of the educational sector, you have more people violating the laws, because they will not know. And when a man does not know, he does not know. When a man knows, he knows. Knowledge makes a man unfit to be a slave. Listen, that is why Frederick Douglass said, and I quote, "It is easier to build strong children than to repair broken adults." This is the educational sector. This is prison. This is where minds are shaped, where strong children are built. If you don't take care of it, you are going to have more broken adults in this place. But that's so unfortunate, because today, prison is no longer a place where people's minds are being reshaped. I knew when we were growing up, when people come out from prison, they are always so quiet. Today is the other way around, because that is a place where people go now to employ cheap labor. So they don't care having more inmates there. That's why I say they keep building prisons for the sons and daughters who could not afford but to make wrong choice. Currently, Covenant University have been ranked the #1 university in Nigeria and 7th in the world, in Africa rather. I don't know how the criteria and the prerequisite it is for the ranking. I don't know, because I can't vouch for their standard, but I know that at least their standard is okay, because they have the funding, okay? So funding a school is essential. It's essential to the growth of the academic performance of that school and their ranking. So government have to fund our schools. If not, There will be darkness in the land. There will be, because you are going to have the number of literate people decline and illiteracy skyrocket. The reason why EndSARS protest was so aggressive and massive was because the youth became enlightened. And do you know why that protest did not even last in some parts of the country? Because of the 30% of the ignorant people, of the ignoramuses among them, that disrupted that organized effort to bring good governance in the country. What do you think will happen when you have 70% of illiteracy and 30% of literate? There will be trouble in the land. See, it is time you get a blackboard and a whiteboard and start teaching your children in the house. Yes, because nobody cares if you don't know. And when you don't know, you'll be used. You'll be told and you believe everything and swallow it hook, line and sinker. Please fund our universities. Fund our universities. Don't keep our people in the dark. Africa, Nigeria, wisdom is a principal thing.